You mentioned, maybe I'm taking it to another point, but I thought when you talked about, this is a great time for real estate because where humanity is, and I think it's really a reassurance we are in the right business. And there is, the ultimate questions that we get all the time, but now I would not ask it for any time, but specifically considering where, the recent things that are happening today, not just in the US, in the world entirely. What would be your thoughts to share about pros, cons, risks for people who say, oh, maybe now it's the time to go back to the stock exchange with the discounted prices, or maybe I put my resources, funds into real estate in terms of allocation decisions?
Okay, great question. I am not equipped in any way, shape, or form to comment on the stock market because I don't have a penny in the stock market. I don't, in my world, that's just legalized gambling. And I don't, I just don't believe it's a good method for creating wealth. I've been in the real estate business for over 20 years, and it has been very good to me in good times and bad. When we had the global financial crisis, I made, those were some of my best years in the business. So I don't need, if I know I can make money in a downturn, the upturns are, when we're in a good economy, it's even easier. Well, it's easy. So I've taken the time to educate myself about this business, and I'm not about at this stage in my life to go and learn about the stock market. And I was a licensed securities broker in the 80s. I had 2 stock licenses, Series 6 and 63 back in the late 80s. Ironically, during the crash of 87, I was a licensed agent at that time. So I have more than a passing knowledge of the stock market, and it's of no interest to me. So let's just get that aside. There's always opportunity in the real estate business because of what's going on right now. It's the sanctuary of comfort and stability. It's the happy place for many people. It's home. It's the place we go to at the end of the day. It's the place we go to rest. It's the place we go to, connect with family and eat meals and share experiences and all that. So,
or shelter from risks.
Exactly. So that need will never go away. And I jokingly tell people that until human beings return to living in caves, or the postal service decides that they're going to deliver mail to cardboard boxes under bridges, we will always have a business. Now, so we understand that principle. Human beings live in dwellings, and businesses do commerce in dwellings. So we understand that that's a basic need. Now, how do we profit from that? That's where the education element comes in. And it's not a one-time education. When I time block my week, there are hours, not minutes, hours that are blocked out for reading and educating myself every day of every week. I'm never stop learning. So that's how you understand markets. That's how you understand what you're supposed to do in the business world. It's not a one and done. There's a reason why our true professionals, doctors and attorneys and accountants, and there's a reason why they have continuing education. I mean, Johnny, in your other business, in collision repair, you've got to continue to send your guys back to get retrained because the vehicles continue to change on an annual basis. They keep changing. Manufacturers change how they're put together, and different materials are created. So to think you can read one book about real estate investing or take one course and it all, that's ridiculous. So the biggest investment, if I had to take a new investor and give them advice, the very first investment you need to make is in yourself. and getting educated and then budgeting how much more you're going to educate yourself on an annual basis. But as far as, the looking at the real estate market versus the stock market, for someone to go through what we're going through right now and not understand the unknown risks that are in that stock market that no one could ever predict. You could have had your money in airline stock 3 weeks ago and been getting great returns, stocks on an incline, dividends are being paid out, and now they're worried about staying in business. This is just 2 or 3 weeks later, they don't even know if they're going to survive. So versus taking that money and putting it in real estate, whatever form, raw land, residential housing, commercial, strip center, I don't know. That's for each individual person to determine. But I know one thing: humans will always reside and do commerce in or on real estate. So when I know it's a basic function of life, now it's just a matter of where do I fit into that ecosystem? Where can I contribute value? And how can I get the return that I desire to live the lifestyle I want?
Yeah, and I think again it's a subject to understand that the real estate is a business and a full industry, meaning there is a variety of investment vehicles, commercial, residential, etc. And educating is very important to really take the right decision where to what is the most suitable segment or vehicle to participate in.
Well, and that goes back to what you've said several times in this call, is understanding the risk and what's a comfortable level of risk for me. And that's definitely different between me and you and Johnny and whoever, because we all have a different level of risk. Some people think nothing of skydiving or bungee jumping or, downhill skiing, and others are fearful just getting on ice skates or roller skates or driving in a car. I mean, I'll give you an example. My mother was deathly afraid of riding in a car over a bridge. Fearful. Mm-hmm. So, she never flew and would never consider getting on an airplane.
I segregate it to two items. One is the psychological fear, and secondly is I would say, know-how. So someone who is doing, let's say, extreme sports, usually they are very much high skilled for that. Obviously, they take a risk, but if someone says, oh, they're doing that, why won't I just start immediately from doing this, let's say, high-stake sports and not start with, I don't know, rollerblading to, practice? Then it's, obviously this risk is not for someone that just starts. So.
Perfect. The antidote for fear is confidence. Confidence is gained through education. So let's get back to jumping out of a plane. There's skydivers that jump out of planes all the time. A friend of mine was a former general in the U.S. Army, and he was a paratrooper. Jumped out of planes hundreds of times and would think nothing of it because why? He was educated, had the confidence, understood how the parachute is packed. He understood all the backup systems that are in place to make it safe. But someone who doesn't know has the fear because they don't have the confidence that's developed through the education and understanding. And that's
doing. Education is meaning, okay, I understand how it should work, but when you do it, you get the skills, you get the know-how by doing.
And there's the confidence.
Yeah, but you also get confidence when you leverage other people's experience, and you get mentors and partners that you do deals with or whatever,
Yeah.
It's all part of the process.
Now, with today's technology, and this brings in technology for your point, Johnny, With today's technology, I don't have to jump out of a plane. I just have to put a GoPro on your helmet and let you go jump out of the plane, and I can enjoy the experience.
I'm very scared of heights, mate. So I volunteer Nir to go. He looks like
I was suggesting to buy for Gary to participate in the investment to purchase the helmet and the camera.